Well, he's got 2 Super Bowl championships, and he's been the MVP twice. He's played in the NFL for 14 seasons. This was probably his rockiest due to some of the situations where the consecutive game streak, and for the first time in Eli's life, there's a little bit of controversy with it, I guess you could call it that, but he handled it as he usually does with grace. He is joining us thanks to Courtyard Marriott's Eli Manning via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. So I want to go right to the games you played against the Eagles. You threw for 340 yards against them in a close loss. You then faced them again and threw for 440 yards against them. You had 6 touchdowns, 700 yards, in fact, 800 yards. So in the second game you played them, you didn't have OBJ. You were missing 2 of your star receivers. You had a tight end and 1 receiver. So you had great success against Philadelphia, Eli. Take me to the coverages. Were they predictable? Was it zone? Was it man-to-man? Why did you have so much success against this Eagles defense, Eli?
I think, obviously sometimes, you're a division opponent, you play them every year, and you just have a good feel for what they're going to be playing. And, they mixed up some things. The previous year they played more too high. This year they really said, hey, we're going to play a lot of man-to-man and 1 high safety, and they felt they could get a pass rush with their 4 guys, and we were just able to hit a couple big plays, a couple. They were playing some more 1 high, kind of not letting you run the ball,
right.
And playing a little bit of zone, but we were able to hit a couple guys in stride through the zone to hit a couple big plays, a couple double moves, some slant and goes. But we didn't hold the ball real long. Their defense line is very good. You can't sit back there and take a lot of 7-step drops. We didn't try much play action. There was a lot of 3-step drops, but 5-step drops, but coming out right on time, coming out on the plant, and just be able to hit some guys kind of in that first window and hit a couple big plays.
Now, Eli, you said, it sounds like to me, Eli, they play a pretty aggressive, risk-taking defense because to pop for big plays, guys bite on double moves. Would you call them a risky defense?
No, I wouldn't call them a risky defense in the sense, they don't blitz much. They're not playing a bunch of bizarre coverages. They kind of, they play a lot of, single high. They like to get the safety. Malcolm Jenkins in the box, have him,
yep.
Kind of around the tight ends and try to take away the tight ends with him. Usually play some sort of, they'll mix it up whether it's zone or man, but, a lot of times it's kind of a man-to-man with the funnel player right in the middle, just kind of taking things over the middle, trying to take away your crossing routes and under routes. But they just rely on that front 4. They're going to be able to get pressure on the quarterback before you have time to, hit some throws down the field. They mostly play off with their corners just so you can't throw, fly routes and go routes and stuff, try to take away those things. So, but you do have to get the ball out on time. You can't hold it real long, and, you just can't, they try to take away the run by putting the safety in the box and really challenge you to throw the football.
Now let's go to New England. Not only did you beat them in both Super Bowls, but you've had success against them, yards, plays, in the regular season. So Belichick has a history of eating young quarterbacks alive. You are not a young quarterback. You are not easily fooled. So what will Nick Foles see? What does Belichick generally do, Eli, when you faced him multiple times?
Well, I think the Patriots do a great job of just kind of keeping you off balance. They'll come out the first couple series and play a certain style of defense and have do the things that they want to do, some new things they might have, and all of a sudden that third and fourth series they'll change it back up. They'll also have some different things for the second half that they didn't show. They just come out and all of a sudden start playing something totally different. So I think they do a great job of really not being very predictable, mixing up this out of nowhere, just kind of changing up a coverage. They do a great job, trying to take away the run, being in like that kind of bear type defense where you're covering up all the guards. It's tough to find runs in that, but then playing zones behind it, mixing in their pressure. So I think they always have great scheme, but they'll try to disrupt Foles. Just not give him in a great rhythm and see if they can get some pressure. Without doing anything exotic, really.
You know, it's funny. You older quarterbacks used to about 35 years old, you guys were all done playing. But I have this theory that the reason many old quarterbacks, and I say old, guys over like 34, because that was the retirement date for years and years, 34. As you get older, Eli, over the last 5 years, the NFL is a no-huddle league. And you veteran guys like Ben, Breeze, yourself, Brady, Phillip Rivers, you're having great success because it is such an advantage in a no-huddle league to have your 15 years of football acumen. Tom Brady said a year ago, he said, you can't throw anything. I've seen everything. Do you feel like,
right.
Eli, do you feel like, forget the physical part, but mentally, do you feel like there are times that this is the best you've ever been in the National Football League mentally?
Yeah, well, I think, like you said, with the no huddles, be able to get up there at the line of scrimmage, see things quickly, and know, hey, I got a bad play on right now. I got to get out of this, and getting into other plays, or just knowing the coverage. Hey, this is the coverage I'm getting. I know exactly where I'm going with the ball. And so, just that knowledge, seeing the coverages, seeing different schemes, knowing what plays work versus certain, schemes and coverages and teams and styles. So, having that advantage is helpful. And then it's just a matter of, can you still make the throws and have protection and get everybody else on the same page as well.
Tom Brady's got this thing called Tom versus Time. You're a busy guy. You're not probably going home like me and watching it every night. It's a documentary about his life. And, I mean, the guy watches so much film, he literally says, I could sit here all day and watch film. And I'm like, oh, I love football, so I get it. As you have aged, do you watch less film, more film? How obsessed are you on preparation, Eli?
Yeah, no, watch a lot of film, and so my routine has been the same, really for the last 14 years, and it's been, back then it was kind of before you had film at home all the time, but I used to I had my own computer that I had to buy the software that we had at the Giants and brought in my computer every week so they could download all the film so I could watch film at home. Of the opposing team. So I'm the same way. You can watch film, you got to love the aspect of watching film just because, the reason I enjoy is because that advantage. Is, you're watching something, you see a tip. Hey, when the safety lines up at this depth, they're playing this coverage, or when they show this look, they're coming with this blitz. And for you to be able to get to the perfect play, say, hey, coach, when I see this blitz, what are some plays we can get to, or what do you want to get to? I can see it. I can get to this play. And so if they want to bring that, perfect. Let's bring it on. I hope they do bring that blitz because I got the play that can beat it and get us a touchdown or get us a first down. So it just, that's what excites you. And you know what's coming and you can get to the, you have the perfect call, where you're going, and you feel that from that preparation, watching the film, studying all the tendencies, studying players, their weaknesses, who to attack. It gets you excited to play the game because you feel like you got an edge.
Yeah. You have been a great spokesman for the league. You're the least controversial guy in the NFL, but for a few weeks this year, Eli Manning was embroiled in a New York sports story, and I remember thinking during this, I'm like, Eli Manning is driving home, Mr. Non-Controversy, and he's embroiled in this headline, and I'm thinking, oh, God, he hates this. This is just not who he is. When you were in that 2 or 3 week thing and you were going home and talking to your wife, was it the low point just because you're not a controversy headline-seeking guy? Was it rough for you?
Yeah, I mean, this whole year was rough. Not winning many football games and going through a losing stretch and start losing your players to injury, and then having to miss a game and not be the starter. All of that was very challenging. It was tough, but it was a reminder just from the outpour of support I got from ex-teammates, from other players, reminded me, that, hey, I got to be a good teammate during this as well, and be a good teammate to Gino and support him and do what's best for the team. And, that's what it's all about. It's about, it's still about the relationships that you make in this game. And, the support I got from, fans and people all over reminded me that, you want to, it's important to be a good person, to handle your business and it's not always how you handle the good times, it's how you handle the bad times as well.
Well, that comes from good parenting as well. You're with the Courtyard Super Bowl Sleepover Contest. Courtyard by Marriott is giving one lucky fan the sleepover of their dreams, letting them wake up at the stadium on Super Bowl Sunday in Minnesota. On top of that, Courtyard's giving 2 pairs of Super Bowl 52 tickets each day. Eli, you've been a great steward for the game. Courtyard Super Bowl Sleepover Contest by Marriott. Eli, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.